Hey, what's the matter, you?
How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? Isn't how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Isn't how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Oh, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Yeah, Guido. Nice. All right.
Dylan can write songs, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I don't really think his voice was great. Obviously, I mean, a lot of people that's their big complaint about him, but as far as lyricists and stuff, he's got to be one of the top 10.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, and the albums he's put out is amazing. And not only that, the movie does a good job of really showing too. Besides being a talented writer, he perfectly captured the zeitgeist of the moment. I mean, it was frustration and protest and fear over the wars and stuff like that, or even the potential for war. And he captured it perfectly, you know.
Definitely.
And here I thought it was Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist?
Zeitgeist, yeah. That's how I pronounce it. I think that's
All right.
correct.
So this week, it's my turn. I chose the topic of minimalism. Let me share my entire screen. No, I'd rather share the bottom one. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So minimalism. It's the context is mindfulness of products and services in your life. You keep it simple. All right. So the main concept is, keep it simple, and let go of things that are unnecessary, and the things that remain are like things that add value to your life. Reducing clutter. We have too much stuff. They say the average home has about 300,000 items. If you Google that question, that's an estimate of the average home. And these are the main concept. And moving away from consumerism. What is consumerism? It's the ideology that encourages continuous acquisition of goods and services, often driven by social status, marketing, and the belief that purchasing leads to happiness.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Very hard to believe 300,000.
Yeah. But I mean, if you really go look in people's attics and closets and basements and
It's like if I have 10,000, I'd be surprised. Although I'm not trying to say I've embraced minimalism, I just find it so hard. 300,000's so many. That's a very large number. I can see though it's a lot, but I
Yeah.
just find that number interesting. But go ahead.
I was
Yeah.
pretty shocked about that. Yeah, myself.
And it depends on what they count, of course. I mean, you could, but regardless, we know it's a huge number.
Yep.
Yeah.
You say it's an ideology, so it's promoted, I'm assuming, by our wonderful corporations, but I'll let you keep going.
What in consumerism? Yeah.
Of course, right?
Yeah. What minimalism is not. It doesn't mean austerity or suffering where you have to, give up everything. You don't have to live in a cave and eat bugs. You don't have to save every penny. When people hear minimalism, they think, oh, you're going to sacrifice. You really don't have to give up entertainment. You don't have to be miserable. it's more of just simplicity and really letting go of the things that don't add value. And I guess the object is not to be wasteful. That's the thing, and to really be mindful of what you have.
Is that John?
I like to add a little twist on it. What was that?
He said, "Is that guy John? He's in the class."
I think it is.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be like.
That's the prison picture.
Joe shared that picture where he has that beard, and I showed it to Valerie, and she's like, "What is that?" It looked like an animal now. Oh my god!
Oh, that's funny. I'd like to put a little bit of a twist on it that I've always believed strongly and tried very much to live in my own life. I mean, I could afford a Mercedes or a Beamer or whatever, but I have a problem with that because, especially again, most of that stuff's just status. But I think there's an issue of gluttony. Gluttony is a sin, of course, but the reason it's a sin is because it is doing stuff that is beyond what you need. And of course, we take it to the extreme, but even let's take, easy ones. I mean, we've seen, just as a simple example, we were watching Landman, which is a really good show. And one of the persons there, he was on the spur of the moment, he writes a $44 million check. And that wasn't the exact scene that was of issue, but we see a lot of times there definitely shows scenes of very, very wealthy people, right? And you'll see stuff where, in the guy's office, they'll have, wall-to-wall paintings, and they'll have just super extravagance. And I couldn't do that. I mean, I couldn't have, here's a painting in my house that's worth, $10 million, when I full well know that $10 million can go a long way to, feeding a lot of people, So to do that, it's not a question of whether you can, it's a question of whether you should. Yes, I get it. You have the money where $10 million is not a big deal. But in my opinion, that's still a sin because it would be the sin of gluttony. You don't need that. And there are people suffering, and it's not really too hard to find them. So you are willfully ignoring the suffering because your ego wants that $10 million stroke. So I think it's a sin. Yeah,
I agree. And it sort of leads into some of the questions of, intentional living with more intention. Intention involves being deliberate and thoughtful about your future. Like some of these questions I think are important. I've asked myself, why do I want what I want? Is it advertising? Is it seeing what your friends or neighbors have? Will this add value to my life? Do I have enough? I think if you don't question yourself on these things, you just on autopilot. Like it's always wanting the next best thing. And I'm guilty of, my thing was always being gadgets. I think people have different things in their life. Women, it's like clothing and shoes and other things. I always like tech gadgets, but as I start to follow some of the recommendations of the minimalist lifestyle of questioning, some of the shit I haven't even used. I bought it or used it once, or I said I'll need it at some point, and then you sort of artificially can create the need too. Like, I have this now, I'll make a use for it. So I was buying a lot of crap.
Like, what's an example? I mean, I'll give you one example of my guilty pleasures. You guys know, I love CDs. I love music, and I have a lot of CDs. So that's one of my little guilty pleasures. Is I do like to buy a lot of music, but I mean, I enjoy listening to them, and it's $10 every couple of weeks or whatever. Do you have an example of some of the gadgets you're talking about? And
Yeah, like I bought when I was getting into sort of retro gaming, I bought one of those little handhelds from like a Chinese thing. I think I used it once, but it
Mm,
was like, I was like, oh yeah, I love retro, gaming, or I got
right.
that. Just little things here and there, an extra controller that I never used, or I'll just think someday I'll need this, or someday I'll use this, and I
Right.
really don't. I don't need, like, I have, just too many gadgets, extra mouses, some extra, microphones, different things like that.
Well, we could see that because you screw up with this video every week.
No, I don't know. I think I have too many things plugged into this Mac. I do love the Mac Mini. See, like
Yeah.
I have a Windows box, but it was starting to go bad, and I got the Mac Mini, which has been good though. I really enjoy this for $500. It's the
Yeah.
best bang for your buck.
I was considering getting one of them. There's a really hot program out called, it used to be called Moltbot. I think they just changed it now to OpenClaw.
Yeah,
But it's one of these AI agents that's pretty autonomous, and you talk to it through a messaging app, and it's basically autonomous. And
yeah,
it can do, and they got all sorts of tools for it and stuff. I may want to experiment with that. And the
yeah,
way people are experimenting with it is buying like a Mac Mini to set it up on.
yeah. I saw that. I think the one thing that people are concerned about is the security of you're
Right.
sort of handing the keys of the kingdom over to this thing.
Well, that's another reason, even why it should be a separate computer. You do got to take the secure. I won't do it unless I'm confident in the security. But you're right, and I think that's why they do a separate computer for it. But anyway, go ahead.
There
Yeah,
was
I
this
love this
kid.
slide, of course, and I mean, being more intentional about everything, even in the what I love about intention, as you know, is it's important in the small and in the large. And the way the way you improve doing it in the large is by doing it in the small. In that, even simple stuff like, when I'm working out or when I'm bench pressing, it's not something, especially now, I don't rush through it anymore. I'm like, no, I'm here to work out. If it hurts a little bit or whatever, that's fine. That's part of the process. I want to know. I want to. I'm not even something silly like push-ups. Now I do slower because I'm being very intentional about my push-ups. What's the perfect form? What's the thing? Is it the right? I know why I'm doing it, so I don't. It's a good thing anyway.
I think there's a plug. I think there's a philosophy to intentional living.
yeah. I've
Yes,
heard
Joseph
about
and
that.
I wrote a book about this, so we believe strongly in this, obviously.
There
Nice.
was this wedding recently called by Anant Ambini, like one of the richest men in the world, and all of the rich people were there. And his presence, of which I think he has several of each one, was like a Lear jet for 70 million from Bezo. Zuckerberg gave him like a $50 million boat. Watches were given out. I think the cheapest one they were making fun of
Oh,
was
what was this for? Some kind of birthday party or
a
something?
wedding. Yeah, he
Oh,
was getting married. And like the cheapest present was like a Lamborghini, and he got like laughed at because like one of the people
Huh.
only gave a Lamborghini. Talk about waste and not. I mean, he has like I think there were like 6 cars given at the wedding. It's like, what the hell are you gonna do with 6 cars? It
I
doesn't
wonder
make
if
sense.
it's even like like a conscious thought, or it's just not even, it doesn't even enter their mind
It's
that they
well, I
can't.
think
unbelievable.
Maybe they have the philosophy of like, because like if you follow like Nietzsche or something, they have different morals. You can have your moral compass can be different from what he called slave morality, is like what we've followed since the Jews in Egypt. Not to get too deep in the weeds, but you can follow different morals other than Christian morals or Jewish morals. I just wondered if it goes into their head, if they have some other one where it's sort of like an animalistic, I am the conqueror and I conquered, and my morals are I have it because I'm better.
yeah, it's a very good point. It's similar to, like what do mafiosos do when they pretend they love their family, but they murder their competitors. I think it's called compartmentalization, right? And people put things in boxes and go, I do philanthropic stuff, so they have their charity box, and this is their whatever box, rewarding a friend or whatever, and they just say, no, that's a different box. This is this box, and they separate the two. So for them, it's not an issue of you're correct in one sense that it's not an issue of wrong or right for them. They've compartmentalized that, and they've also, of course, rationalized why it's okay. Like, how can the mafioso do it? How can he kill innocent people that he views a threat, or even if they're not innocent, how can he kill or cheat or steal or whatever else he's doing, but then be a good and normal in his rest of his life? And then he rationalizes it. He says, well, I'm good to my family, and that's the only area of my goodness. Here I can be a cruel son of a bitch to survive.
So, Chris, this picture of saving money and monthly budgeting in the piggy bank.
Yeah.
What the hell's the green leaf spouting water into a cup? What the hell is going on there?
This was a photo that was in the common, when you can share a photo that's in the common, whatever.
Creative Commons, yeah.
Creative Commons thing. That's why it's there.
And so,
it has something to do with money, and I couldn't find anything better, and there it is.
I think Joe's upset because he doesn't put in pictures.
Yeah, but next time I think I'm just gonna have pictures. I'm gonna be talking about the weather, and there's gonna be like the Twin Towers getting struck by it has nothing to do with it, but boom, and it's gonna be like
Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Now we're getting into some things of reducing clutter. Does this add value to my life? They recommend, you go through your basement, attic, closets, junk drawers. Ask yourself, do you even remember having that? Separating it into piles of necessary, useful junk. And you just start to maybe have like, what do they call it again? Like a garage sale, or just donate it to the people, veterans, or donate it to someone, or, and then you'll find what a lot of people say is that as you reduce clutter, it's sort of, not only do you get a good feeling inside, it's also you feel like your brain is less cluttered, clarity, the less mess you have and the less things you have, there's a clarity of thinking that comes with it, supposedly.
I think this is interesting on a number of angles, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you saying something, Joe? Go ahead.
I just wanted to.
You're breaking out.
You're breaking up. What did you say? Oh, I'm not the only one with mic troubles.
I think he's got lag. I don't think it's Mike.
Oh, interesting. Let me see if we can.
Yeah, you just cut out for a little bit. Me and Christian were still good, but you cut out.
Mike, you can't mute us. What were you going to say, Mike? Mike, what were you going to say? Oh, now we're really.
Well, okay, so this is interesting. Christian, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, now okay. I can hear you.
Joe, you are not hearing Joe, though. Joe was talking. I can hear both of you.
Yeah, same. I can hear both of you, which means that if Mike can hear me fine, it's
now Christian. You're back. Now you're back. I hear you now. All right. So what were you saying, Joe?
The picture here. I was trying to say that if you put a washer and dryer to the left and you run a pipe crossing over from the right to the left, I swear it almost looks like Christian's basement. I was down there and it was so funny. But
Joe actually said he really did clean up the base. I mean, wow! I was so impressed when I came back one time. I was like, and the garage. This guy organized the damn thing and the garage when I came back.
But it was only that.
Like, holy shit!
In other words, it looked like this.
No, it didn't.
But I think my point is that, like, no, it wasn't. But when all I did was like organize. I didn't throw anything out, and it opened up 50% of his basement because he's that person that comes down and just sort of throws it.
That's like That's like the people on the Big Bang Theory. The couple, I forget the name. It's Bernadette and her husband. I forget the husband's name. They invite Sheldon over because Sheldon loves to organize things. So they get Sheldon to organize all their stuff.
Nice.
Well, I think there's a few interesting things. One is this issue of clutter, and in terms of even severe psychosis is when people become hoarders, right? They equate clutter and things with security, and in fact, a lot of their clutter accumulates because of the well, in case of, or I may find a use for that later, and therefore their psychological comfort is equivalent to this stuff. And it obviously turns into a nightmare of clutter and junk, and they can't find anything. So there is something to be said for, in fact, as I get older, I really have been trying to focus more on organization, whether it's my tool room or any other, or my books or my CD. It's important to know what you have, especially when you want to use it, you want to get to it efficiently, right? If you don't know where the hell it is, when you need it, you're not going to have it. And then you end up buying extra crap, and then you're buying it two or three damn times when you actually already have it. So I think it's not only clarity, it's also an efficiency of life, as well as, obviously not the psychosis of why are you so cluttered, that kind of a thing.
May I add just one more statement? It's funny how a near-death experience or losing somebody close to you, or something that makes you take notice of the fact that 95% of everything that I'm looking at right now, if I accidentally died, would just be a shoveling effect into the nearest garbage. I could literally see, like, yeah, we're not going to do it. Everything that you thought was of value, all of a sudden the person who's like closing up your life, 95% of it is like, okay, yeah, what are we going to do with those pictures? Like framed puzzles or some, it's garbage. They're not even considering it. X, leave the cat alone.
All right.
Go outside. Go outside. Come on.
It's another aspect to consider is in this disposable lifestyle that a lot of Americans are living. Corporations contribute to this way of thinking. Products that are designed to difficult to be repaired. Cheap quality products that are less expensive, but you just throw them away. Product lifespans reduced by planned obsolescence. People, have been conditioned to have low expectations for products. Like nowadays, people like say, "Oh, you bought a new washer or dryer, and you got 5 years out of it. Well, that's pretty good." But I mean, that's just the way of thinking. We've been conditioned to think that way. And then maybe also why fix things when you can just buy another one? Like people are just sort of lazy, and there are consequences. Like landfills are getting humongous, and it's pollution, obviously, so it's just something to think about. It's another
Oh,
aspect.
I think there's another good thing, like you said, although there's a lot of other aspects on this. The right to repair, right? Some products were starting to be designed. Not only will they be designed as kind of throwaway after some lifespan, but if you tried to repair them, you immediately void the warranty or that stuff, and they make it incredibly difficult to repair.
Right.
I do think this is this is part of the cultural shift to consumerism, kind of looking at us as like cogs that just buy cheap junk, and be happy with it. Buy your cheap junk and be happy with it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right. I'm the type of person. Although obviously some things you don't have choice in, you have to buy what's available. But I like to keep things old. I like to, if I can repair something, and even like for me anyway, like simple stuff like clothes. I don't really care about the latest fashion. I like when something has kind of stood the test of time. The things that I cherish most are the things that stood the test of time. So if I can repair it, I want to repair it, um, for the things that I have that option and skill to do.
Yeah.
They
I
said
like
that
that
they're
some companies are trying to develop more modular, like even there's like a laptop that has a lot of you can swap out the CPU, you can swap out the GPU. It's more like a Lego, like it
Right.
hasn't really caught on, but it's getting more popular. And some of the other companies are looking into that too. I think Lenovo had one at CES that was kind of modular like that. They need to start at some point. A lot of these resources, where they're not infinite. We don't have infinite resources. And
Right.
that way of thinking at some point it's got to stop.
they
Well, I
see
think
they
the way it
do.
stops is with some counterculture, right? I think there are some signs of counterculture things, and one of them is, don't buy the cheap junk. If something's more expensive, but it's a higher quality, spend the money, and let them know. Not only spend the money, let them know that you will spend the money on higher quality stuff that you can repair. So some of it takes, I do think, sort of, there are some, as an example, like counterculture things. You could argue that like tiny houses are counterculture, right? Instead of going for the McMansions, no, people are actually in the minimalist mindset saying, no, I don't need all that. I just need a small space to be warm and comfortable and have the minimal number of things. I'm good.
Yeah.
So I do think counterculture to me is an individual thing, kind of like what we're saying here. Don't have to just because that's what most people do. So what? You know, do go your own way. Do If you like quality, then have less and invest in quality.
Yeah. That's a
I
good
hear
point.
that. Um, I hear that Tesla's now, Mike. You said he's turned to put all of his attention into the computer and the robots now, huh? Not doing his cars. I wish
No,
he
no,
would
no,
do his
not
tiny homes.
not. He's still doing some of the cars. He got rid of two models, and
Right.
that plant in Fremont, California, he is totally focusing on the Optimus robot. So he's doing a major investment and push in Optimus robots. Uh,
Hmm. I was just curious because I wish he did the tiny homes, but that's just a joke. I don't think he's going to do them. I don't think he
Yeah, they've
could
been
have.
talking about that for a while, where it was like a Tesla home or something, right?
Yeah, it's fake though.
Well, and that was pretty much it. I mean, there's a couple of documentaries I recommend on Netflix. The Minimalist Less Is Now and Buy Now: The Shopping Conspiracy. That's a really interesting one about how much freaking waste and trash we produce, especially from like Amazon and stuff like that, and all these other countries
I'm
that have.
amazed. Do you guys know how little recycling we do? Uh,
Yeah,
It's like
Mike.
10%, right?
that's surprising to me. We've been talking about recycling for like 40 years or to at least 30, and we're only really recycle plastic. Most of the rest of it still goes to landfills, and it's like, why are we? Some of them even collect it and then don't recycle it, which I assume is a cost issue. That the cost of new is still cheaper than using the recycled stuff.
It's the great recycle hype. You have like the 8 items on the recycle pail. Only like one of them out of the eight's really recycled. I don't think cardboard is. Or maybe cardboard is. I know, like you had said,
I
plastic.
thought
I
it's
don't
really
think
mostly
plastic.
plastic. Some
Yeah,
paper and plastic. They don't,
yeah,
like in ours. Our guys don't even collect glass, don't even collect cans. The only thing they collect is paper and plastic.
yeah. And then I think that the minimalist attitude can go right over to the gluttony associated with eating. I mean, why do we eat so much? And you know what I'm saying? I mean, this that you can just see that. I mean, where how many different cookies can there be? How many different you've got it like variety apparently is the spice of life because it's just the same damn sugar, shown 12 different ways.
Hmm.
You just wonder. It's crazy that yeah, we're It's interesting. I wonder. Yeah, so that was a good one. Do we?
Yeah, I do think
do a
minimalism
rating.
is a good
You want
philosophy.
to do a rating now?
He loves to do this. Go ahead, come on, give me.
What is it with you? Go ahead, Joe. He's so competitive. He can't help himself. He cannot help himself.
Let's
I
see.
give that a 5 out of 5.
Oh wow! Holy cow!
Look at Joe. Look at Joe.
5 out of 5. Well, let's see. When he silently had sent me a text and changed his 3.5 stars to 4, I just wanted to first share that with Mike, bumping my last one up from 3.75 to 4.
I said good information. Good information.
Yeah, guys. Yeah.
All
All right,
well,
guys.
thank
Yeah,
you.
no, that was excellent. So I go
Is
next
my-
week.
is it my-
Arrivederci.